Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to the session with me. Uh, just give me. Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to the session with me. So we're back with today's editorial. Today we have a fairly easy editorial about politics in Pakistan, but anyway we'll try to analyze it as much as possible. But before I do that, time for all the important information that I need to give you prior to the session. So, number one, Unacademy Lite subscription. You must have heard about it as of now, but if you don't know what it is, let me just explain it to you very quickly. So, Unacademy Lite subscription contains only the test series. You don't get any classes or study material here, only the tests, okay, only the CLAT pattern mock test. Now, not just CLAT pattern, you have mock test of AILET, SLAT, um, and LSET along with CLAT. So this is the schedule starting from the 25th of March. It has already started and continuing till the June 18th of June. You have almost 25 full length mock tests. Mostly they are based on CLAT, but some of the tests you can see are based on AILET, SLAT and LSET examinations. Now, if you go for a 1 month light subscription, let's say you start your subscription from the 5th of April, which will go on till the 5th of May. So you're getting approximately 10 tests in a 1 month light subscription. And if you go for a 3 month light subscription, you are getting access to all the tests that will continue for the next 3 months. Now, a 1 month light subscription is only for 999 and 3 month light subscription is only for 1999, and of course on top of that you get an extra 10% off when you use the code NLU live. Now, quickly moving on to another set of important information. This is something that I will highly recommend. The CLAT Combat Test, which is going to be on the 10th of April, 3 p.m. It's a beginner level test based on the CLAT pattern, where the top few students will get scholarships, and at the same time, the toppers will also get prizes like Google Mini, JBL headphones, etc. It's a 60-minute test, and the interesting thing here is that you will get live ranking. Like each question that you attempt, you will get your score, you will get your ranking. So it'll be very competitive and very interesting that way, that after each question you can just see what is your rank and you can push yourself forward. Yeah, the ranks will keep changing after each question, which will make it quite interesting to attend it. Again, the test is completely free and you can enroll for the test using the code NLU Live. The test is available on the Unacademy app and it will be conducted on the 10th of April, 3 p.m. and it will be a live test where you, along with hundreds of other students and indeed thousands of other students, will be giving the test. Then we have special classes planned for you. Again, special classes means free classes on Unacademy. You just have to install the Unacademy Learning app, use the code NLU Live, unlock the free classes, and yeah, then just learn as much as you can. So you have this series of self-analysis classes which started from the 4th of April and which will continue till the 8th of April. And the new batches, in the list of new batches, the most important one is a batch which is starting for CLAT 2023 aspirants. क्योंकि अगर अभी तक preparation शुरू नहीं करा तो oh my god कब करोगे? This batch will your medium of instruction in the batch will be both Hindi and English, like a mixture of the two. It is starting from the 6th of April. Make sure you do not miss this batch. Trust me, do not miss this batch. As a CLAT 2023 aspirant, you don't have a lot of time left, hardly 7 to 8 or 9 months left in your CLAT examination. And there's a lot to cover, and you also have to focus on your class 12 board examinations and practicals and I don't know what not, farewell and everything. So please make sure that your focus is also on CLAT at the same time, and it will require a decent amount of time to get a good rank in CLAT. Now, a rank booster batch for CLAT 2022 aspirants, which is a crash course starting from the 6th of April. The medium of instruction will be English, and a very good course for 2022 aspirants who have their exam in the next 3 months. You can get a quick revision through this batch. And then law and order batch, which is for CLAT 2024 aspirants starting on the 8th of April, and you will get a lot of NLU alumni here in this batch. Like you can see Kushagra, Divya, myself, and Raghavendra, a lot of NLU alumni here. Now, there are three types of subscriptions available on Unacademy. First, I've already talked about, which is light subscription, which only contains the test, nothing else. And that also only, light subscription, which only contains the test. Then you have plus subscription, which contains the test as well as classes, series, courses, getting to download the class notes, doubt clearing sessions, mock analysis, everything else, like basically the whole syllabus, the full package. This is plus subscription. And then the third option that you have is Iconic, which contains the whole package and at the same time contains a few extra things. So basically what they mean is getting extra attention and priority in the classes, means getting a lot of personal attention. Hi Harsh, hello Amit, hi Kushi. Okay, we have somebody named Deadpool. Hey Deadpool. Right, so this is what the difference between plus and Iconic is. So basically Iconic means lots of personal attention, and the most important feature is one-on-one live mentorship, where you have your own personal mentor. For example, in a 6-month Iconic subscription, you get almost 36 sessions of 10 minutes each with your own personal mentor. Your personal mentor will be somebody who has themselves cleared CLAT with a very good rank, and then it's a personal session, it's a private session that you're getting with them via the Unacademy app. You can book a time and a slot that's available, that's convenient for you, and ask them whatever specific doubts, general doubts, queries, even if it's a silly doubt, even if you're feeling demotivated, talk to them. So this is something that you will not find anywhere else in India, and just make sure that if you can afford Iconic subscription, you should definitely go for Iconic. There is a very small price difference between the two, and of course Iconic is a little bit costlier. But for all of these subscriptions, whether you go for Iconic or whether you go for Plus or you go for light subscription, you will always get the option to get a 10% off on the base price of the subscription when you use the code NLU Live. So on the bottom of this page, before making the payment, you just have to type the code NLU Live. You have to apply it, and automatically all the subscription prices will decrease by 10%. Chaliye, and also another and also in the line of free series, you have educator curated mock tests, where every weekday at 5 p.m. you have an educator curated test. So let's move to the editorial that we have with us today. I take my editorials from the Hindu newspaper. You could be reading any other newspaper and it's completely fine. I mean, I don't have a preference as such. I think the Hindu, Indian Express, both of them are quite good with respect to CLAT preparation. Now, number one, we already read the newspaper every day, like you're supposed to do that for your current affairs preparation. And I very strongly believe that there's no source better than your newspaper when it comes to current affairs. You can of course have secondary sources. You can of course attend classes. You should in fact attend classes and compendiums and everything, but your first source should be the newspaper, because that's where you will get holistic and comprehensive information about any topic at hand, and you'll be able to actually understand the relevance of the topic if you read the newspaper daily. Secondly, we also read the newspaper to get information on legal current affairs, which can also turn into legal reasoning questions and legal reasoning passages in the CLAT examination. So all the Supreme Court judgments, High Court judgments, decisions about a particular case, mentioning or getting articles on a new law or a new amendment, for example, the Criminal Procedure Amendment. All of these things which look like current affairs or legal current affairs can also become a part of legal reasoning. So therefore, it contributes to improving your legal reasoning. And if you look at the CLAT 2020 and CLAT 2021 question papers, you will see a lot of passages there, at least 2 passages there in the legal reasoning section, taken directly from the newspaper, and then the students are asked, factual questions based on those passages, or then the students are asked scenarios based on those passages. So of course newspaper is important, because we all know that newspaper is extremely important for the English section. How? There are 2-3 things that that are directly connected with the newspaper. Number one, when you read editorials, when you read different articles which actually help you improve your reading speed, they improve your comprehension levels. Basically reading something and trying to able to understand it, this is called comprehension comprehension, whether you're able to understand it or not. So your comprehension definitely increases tremendously if you read a newspaper daily, and especially when you focus on the opinion page and the editorial page and all the extra articles that you get there. They directly help in reading comprehension. Indeed, in the past we have gotten passages in the CLAT question paper which have been taken from a newspaper. So therefore, reading an editorial every day, I would highly recommend. You don't even have to read the bigger one. You could just read the one on the top left corner, which the editorial team writes themselves. So coming to that topic, of course, it helps in your reading comprehension, helps in your reading speed if you're reading with a timer. And thirdly, it also helps improve your vocabulary. I personally feel this is the best way to improve vocabulary for a CLAT aspirant, especially if the student has at least 9 to 12 months to prepare for their CLAT examination. It won't really work for students who are looking for a crash course, but all the long-term students, it will help you tremendously. I promise it will help you tremendously. So for example, you're reading a newspaper, you're at a certain article, you look at the heading. If you feel there is a word there in the heading that you don't know what is the meaning of, you should be smart enough to search for the meaning of that word, write down in a separate notebook, and therefore grab it. So you will have to be inquisitive, you will have to be smart, but every time you come across new words while reading any article in the newspaper, not just the editorial, but any article in the newspaper, you should be noting down those words, jotting them down, finding their meaning, and writing them down in your notebook, and keep revising those words every once in a while from your notebook. Yes, of course, it will take some time. It's going to take approximately 10-15 minutes of your time extra every day, other than just casually reading the newspaper. And of course, you don't have to read each and every article, and you don't have to write down each and every word you come across. Like on an average daily, you can learn approximately 50 to 100 words from a newspaper. So you don't have to read the articles that you were going to skip. But whatever you were going to read anyway, just focus on those articles, and very easily you'll be able to learn around 15 to 20 new words every day. And I think that is okay. That is the limit human brain can, that's the limit with which human brain can learn new words. Anyway, if we try to cram 100 words every day, anyone who's not a genius, anyone who does not have a photographic memory will not be able to learn them. So why burden ourselves unnecessarily when we have a lot to do? Vocab is not the only thing that's coming in your examination. Many other things are coming. So this casual approach with vocabulary, where you're not doing anything additional, but you're making it a part of your newspaper reading habit, and then you learn new words every day, that's going to be highly effective for you. Chaliye, let's focus on understanding the editorial today. The topic says Game for the Throne, which is of course political, okay, and they've taken it from the Game of the Thrones. Now, Imran Khan's moves to cling to power betray his contempt for parliamentary procedures. This is the subheading that we are getting. So this is the heading. This is the subheading. We don't get a lot of information from the subheading. The only information you get from the subheading is that Imran Khan has become power hungry, and he's trying different techniques to stay in power. Even if he's trying to mold the constitution of parliament, he's trying to mold the parliamentary process, he doesn't care. So we start, like I said, every time you read an article, the first paragraph and the first few lines in the article will basically introduce you to the problem. They'll try to tell you what is the issue, and they'll give you some basic facts about the matter. So that is what is happening here in the first part. It was certain that Imran Khan, Pakistan's prime minister, would be ousted in the no trust vote. The opposition had put up a united face. His allies had jumped ship, reducing the ruling coalition to a minority. His party lawmakers had revolted against him. The cricketer turned PM's defeat was a matter of formality in a country where no prime minister has completed his term. On Sunday, the Deputy Speaker dismissed the no trust motion, calling it against the constitution, which was followed by Mr. Khan's formal request to the President to dissolve the National Assembly. Pakistan will have to hold elections in 3 months, provided there is no judicial intervention. There were 3 bad options before Mr. Khan: resignation, no trust vote, or early elections. By choosing elections, he avoided a humiliating defeat and also sought to torpedo the opposition's bid to form a government for the remainder of the current parliament's term. Before the National Assembly convened, Mr. Khan had set the campaign pitch by accusing the opposition of conspiring with a foreign power, an indirect reference to the US, to unseat him. The current crisis would also allow him to play the victim of some foreign conspiracy and seek a fresh mandate. But the question is, what price does Pakistan pay for his political maneuvering? The conspiracy theories, the dismissal of the no trust motion, and the call for early elections all suggest Mr. Khan's contempt for parliamentary procedures and basic democratic decency. This is the first paragraph. As you see, the first few lines, matlab initial part of the first paragraph only tells you about the matter. Ki this is what is going on in Pakistan, that all of the allies of Prime Minister Imran Khan have moved away from him. All of the enemies of Imran Khan have joined hands together. The opposition is united here, and they have all decided to have a no confidence motion against his government, and they've all decided to force him to resign. Okay, now what is Imran Khan doing to protect himself from this? He did a very tricky thing where the speaker has the power to accept a motion or to reject a motion. A motion means a request to do something in the house, in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, for example, in India. So similarly, in the Pakistani parliament, they presented a motion, but the speaker dismissed the motion. So that discretionary power of the speaker was used to favor Imran Khan. And then Imran Khan asked for the dissolution of the National Assembly, and the assembly was dissolved. So this, you're just getting the facts, okay, what all happened, timeline after timeline. Now then we move forward, giving you everything that happened in Pakistan in the last 2-3 days. In the end, a writer actually expresses some opinion in the forms of a question. He says, but everything that is going on in Pakistan, how Imran Khan is trying to become a victim here, and he is given this crazy theory that the US government is actually trying to destabilize Pakistan and change him because they want to establish some other puppet that will do everything that the US government says. So it's like foreign powers interfering with their democracy, and everyone who tries to remove him, he's calling them a traitor or somebody who's been disloyal to the country and the people of Pakistan. So what is going to happen now? This is the last question that our author is asking us, but at the same time our author is also asking us that everything that Imran Khan did to bypass this whole democratic process, it raises some important questions about the status of politics, and more importantly the status of democracy in the country. Which country? Pakistan. And then the next thing that our author here suggests is that by doing everything that Imran Khan has done, he has made it very clear through his actions. There is no doubt by looking at his actions that he has no respect at all for democracy, for people's will, for a democratic process, and for parliamentary procedure. So what is parliamentary procedure? We have these houses, we have different houses of parliament, there's a president, there's a speaker, you have opposition parties, you have majority vote, minority can stay in power, only the person of a majority political party can become a prime minister. But clearly when Mr. Khan has become part of minority, how can a person from a minority party be the prime minister? And that is the question that they're asking. So confidence vote is a very, very important thing in parliamentary procedure, and which is something Mr. Khan does not seem to respect at all. So this is the first part of the editorial that we have been given. Now moving on to the second part of the editorial. Like I said, the first part will introduce the problem, it will raise the question that we are going to discuss. Now the second part of the passage always tells us the possible solutions and the possible conclusions. So in this scenario, let's see what is happening here. For the labyrinth he's in today, Mr. Khan has to blame nobody but himself. Having been a political underdog for years, he broke into Pakistan's two-party political order in 2018 with the direct support of the military. His cocktail of religious conservatism, nationalism, and anti-corruption crusade promised to build a Naya Pakistan. But while in power, he made three critical mistakes: mismanagement of the economy, mismanagement of his ties with the military, and full spectrum hostility with the opposition. His vindictive approach towards the opposition brought together all the major opposition parties, which tried to cash in on the growing public resentment amid economic woes. Cracks in the government's relationship with the military began appearing last year when Mr. Khan reportedly sparred with the establishment over the appointment of the new ISI chief. His visit to Moscow in February, immediately after Russia's Ukraine invasion, and the neutral policy his government adopted regarding the conflict seemed to have quickened his fall. Last week, the Army Chief, General Omar Javed Bajwa, spoke against the Russian invasion and re-emphasized the importance of Pakistan's ties with the US in a public rebuke of Mr. Khan's pragmatism. Now, out of favor with the military, a lost majority in parliament, and faced with anger amid a worsening economic crisis, the captain does not have any good options before him. With his back against the wall, what he is doing for political survival is only weakening Pakistan's non-military institutions and subverting its democratic proceedings. Now, as a CLAT aspirant, what are you getting here? Hi Vishika, good evening. Being billionaire. Okay, hi. So now, as a CLAT aspirant who is sitting in India, what are you getting from this editorial? Number one, like any reading comprehension passage, it is a passage which is good for a practice. It's a good reading material. This is what you're getting. Second, there is a deeper analysis going on. We don't care about what's going on in the Pakistani politics, but we do care what we can learn about military, what we can learn about democracy, and what we can learn about parliamentary institutions. So, in the end, there is no moral of the story here. There is no solution to the problem discussed here, but there is some conclusion. There is some afterthought that the author is leaving us with. So, what is that afterthought? Where does he want to? Where does he want us to analyze? He wants us to think about the fact that everything that Imran Khan is doing to save himself. Okay, you want to bring a no confidence motion against me? I don't care. I'll buy the speaker. I'll tell him to dismiss the motion. Okay, you want to vote further against me? I will dissolve the assembly. So what is happening in a country which already has a history where military has always been stronger than the democratic institutions? Imran Khan's actions are further making these democratic institutions weaker. This is the biggest blow. This is the biggest, let's say, negative impact that Pakistan as a country is going to get from this whole debacle, this whole tamasha here. Okay, so now not much to really grab other than the end discussion as to the harm that all of this is doing to Pakistani democracy. But we are definitely getting a lot of chances here to improve our vocabulary. Let's try and focus on how and where we'll be improving our vocabulary using this particular passage. So I'll just underline all the words which are good for vocabulary with the color red. Hi Mansi, good evening. Right. So let's see, this is the first word, cling. The second word is betray. The third word is contempt. If you already know the meanings of these words, great. If you do not know the meaning, this is something that you should do. Find out, search for their meanings, make a note in a particular separate copy that you should keep only for vocabulary, and try to remember these words and revise them every once in a while. So cling means to stick to something. किसी चीज से चिपक जाना, उसको छोड़ना नहीं. Like how Imran Khan has clung to power. Next है betray. Betray मतलब धोखा देना. And contempt means strong hatred. But हर बार कंटेम्प्ट का मतलब हेट्रेड नहीं होता, कभी कभी कंटेम्प्ट का मतलब ये भी होता है कि यू जस्ट डोंट केयर, आप उस चीज को इज्जत ही नहीं करते, भाव ही नहीं देते, यू जस्ट डोंट केयर अबाउट इट. सो यहाँ पर कंटेम्प्ट इज हेट्रेड, but at the same time it also means disrespect. So his disrespect for parliamentary procedures. Parliamentary procedure is a word which has a legal meaning. इसका law में meaning है. If you don't know what is parliamentary procedure, I request you to ask your legal reasoning educator to do that. But anyway, I'll explain it to you. So parliamentary procedure is a word that is used to describe the system of government in a country. For example, in India, if we have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha, then whoever is the leader of the highest party or party with the highest majority in Lok Sabha gets the opportunity to make a government at the center level, which and the person becomes the prime minister. Then we have the president who is elected in a separate manner, and then in the Lok Sabha and in the Rajya Sabha there is a particular system, like there's a speaker, there's a deputy speaker, there are particular sessions, you have procedures for everything. Like if a bill has to be introduced, there is a process for it. If a bill has to be passed, there is a process for it. A particular set number of votes are to be achieved. Who can prorogue the house, who can dismiss the house, who can adjourn the houses of parliament. All of this related to the houses of parliament is called parliamentary procedure. Now, next set of word vocabulary or a word that you can get here is ousted. Ousted means to remove from power, bahar nikal dena. नो ट्रस्ट वोट अगेन लीगल वर्ड है. नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन जो होता है, जिस ऑपोजिशन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज अगर ये साबित करना चाहती हैं कि जो भी कोई फिलहाल रूलिंग पार्टी है, गवर्नमेंट है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर है या चीफ मिनिस्टर है, उसके पास इनफ वोट्स नहीं है, उसके पास मेजोरिटी का सपोर्ट नहीं है, और किसी भी डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में आपको रूल करते रहने के लिए मेजोरिटी का सपोर्ट होना जरूरी है. तो जब वो बोलते हैं कि आप साबित करिए, ऑपोजिशन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज नो ट्रस्ट मोशन लाते हैं और बोलते हैं कि हम चाहते हैं कि सरकार साबित करे कि उसके पास मेजोरिटी मेंबर्स का सपोर्ट है, तो वो नो ट्रस्ट वोट होता है. द ऑपोजिशन हैड पुट अप अ यूनाइटेड फेस हिज एलाइज. एलाइज मतलब फ्रेंड्स. और यहाँ पर एक फ्रेज है, हिज एलाइज हैड जम्प्ड शिप. जम्प्ड शिप मतलब इनकी नाव में थे, दूसरी नाव में चले गए. तो इसका क्या मतलब है, उन्होंने अपना साइड बदल दिया. They were friends but now they've gone to the other side. Reducing the ruling coalition to a coalition again is a political word. It actually means जब एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को मेजोरिटी नहीं मिलती है तो बहुत सारी दूसरी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, छोटी छोटी या 3-4 पॉलिटिकल पार्टी साथ में मिलकर एक ग्रुप बनाती हैं और वो साथ में देश को चलाती हैं. तो जब तक वो साथ हैं तब तक उनके पास मेजोरिटी है. उनमें से अकेले किसी के भी पास मेजोरिटी नहीं थी, पर साथ में आ गए तो उनके पास मेजोरिटी है. दैट इज अ कोलिशन. Reducing the coalition to a minority. The party lawmakers had revolted against him. I hope lawmaker और revolt का meaning सबको पता होगा. The cricketer turned PM's defeat was a matter of formality in a country where no prime minister has completed his term. Term means duration of office. On Sunday, the deputy speaker dismissed the no trust motion, calling it against the constitution, which was followed by Mr. Khan's formal request to the president to dissolve the National Assembly. Dissolve मतलब खत्म कर देना, इसको अपनी ड्यूटी से रिलीव कर देना. पाकिस्तान विल हैव टू होल्ड इलेक्शंस इन 3 months प्रोवाइडेड देयर इज नो जुडिशियल इंटरवेंशन. इंटरवेंशन मतलब बीच में आना, रोकने की कोशिश करना, बीच बचाव करने की कोशिश करना. There are 3 bad options before Mr. Khan: resignation, no trust vote, or early elections. By choosing elections, he avoided a humiliating defeat. Humiliating मतलब शर्मनाक. Humiliating defeat, and also sought to torpedo the opposition's bid to form a government. Torpedo मतलब तहस नहस कर देना. तो opposition चाह रही थी कि हम अब सरकार बना ले, पर उनके सपनों पे पानी फेर देना. So sought to torpedo the opposition's bid to form a government for the remainder of the current parliament's term. Before the National Assembly convened, Mr. Khan had convened मतलब जब वो अपनी मीटिंग से पहले बैठती है, तो मतलब जब नेशनल असेंबली की मीटिंग शुरू होती है उसको हम कन्वीन बोलते हैं. Mr. Khan had set the campaign pitch by accusing the opposition of conspiring. Conspire मतलब साथ में मिलके प्लान करना, जिसको हम हिंदी में षड्यंत्र बोल सकते हैं. Opposition of conspiring with a foreign power, and indirect reference to the US. टू अनसीट हिम, अनसीट सिंपल है, गद्दी से हटा देना, सीट पर से हटा देना, टू अनसीट हिम. द करंट क्राइसिस वुड ऑल्सो अलाउ हिम टू प्ले द विक्टिम ऑफ सम फॉरेन कॉन्स्पिरेसी, कॉन्स्पिरेसी लाइक अगेंस्ट सेड षड्यंत्र, एंड विक्टिम मतलब वो इंसान जिसके साथ बुरा हुआ है. तो एनसी का फ्रेश मैंडेट, मैंडेट यूजुअली हम इलेक्शंस के रिजल्ट को बोलते हैं. मैंडेट इज यूजुअली द आउटकम ऑफ रिजल्ट, और यू कैन से जब लोग वोट करते हैं तो लोगों की आवाज, लोगों ने जिसको चुना वो मैंडेट हो जाता है. सो सी का फ्रेश मैंडेट मतलब फ्रेश इलेक्शंस. बट द क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट प्राइस डज पाकिस्तान पे फॉर इट्स पॉलिटिकल मैन्यूवरिंग. मैन्यूवरिंग मतलब जब हम किसी चीज को अपने कंट्रोल में लेते हैं और अपने हिसाब से रूल करते हैं, किसी को अपने इशारों पे नचाते हैं. तो इमरान खान जो पॉलिटिकल मैन्यूवरिंग कर रहे हैं, मतलब पॉलिटिकल चालें जो चल रहे हैं, उससे पाकिस्तान की डेमोक्रेसी पर क्या असर होगा. Hi Harsh, good evening. The conspiracy theories, the dismissal of no trust motion, and the call for early elections all suggest Mr. Khan's contempt for parliamentary procedures and basic democratic decency. For the labyrinth he's in today, Mr. Khan has to blame himself. Labyrinth मतलब this difficult situation, जो टर्मोइल में या difficult situation में है, अभी जिन हालातों में है, उसके लिए वो सिर्फ खुद ही को ब्लेम कर सकते हैं. ये हमें एक्सप्लेन करा गया है आगे. एंड देन वी हैव अदर वर्ड्स. Having been a political underdog for years. Underdog मतलब somebody who has the capacity to perform good, somebody when जिस पर किसी को भी यकीन नहीं होता कि ये इंसान अच्छा करेगा, बट वो secretly मेहनत करते करते एकदम से अच्छा कर देता है. अंडरडॉग का मतलब होगा जैसे एक रेस में 3 घोड़े हैं, ए बी और सी. सबको पता है शुरू से कि ए बहुत स्ट्रांग है, बहुत फिट है, बहुत यंग है, और वो पिछले 4 साल से रेस जीतता आ रहा है, तो वही जीतेगा. बी एवरेज है, और सी के बारे में सबको पता है कि अभी अभी उस हॉर्स का एक्सीडेंट हुआ था और वो बस अभी रिकवर हुआ है, तो उससे ज्यादा उम्मीद नहीं है जीतने की. पर फिर भी सी इतना अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है कि सी जीत जाता है. तो ऐसे सिनेरियो में सी अंडरडॉग है कि हमें उससे उम्मीद नहीं थी, पर फिर भी उसने अच्छा परफॉर्म करा. तो जब हम इमरान खान के पास्ट पॉलिटिकल लाइफ के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो हम उनको अंडरडॉग की तरह रेफर कर रहे हैं. He broke into Pakistan's two-party political order in 2018. His cocktail of religious conservatism. रिलीजियस कंजर्वेटिज्म मतलब ऑर्थोडॉक्स होना, नॉट बीइंग वेरी लिबरल, नॉट बीइंग वेरी ओपन माइंडेड. नेशनलिज्म एंड एंटी करप्शन. क्रूसेड, क्रूसेड मतलब आपको एक मीनिंग मिल गया है लाइफ में, एक मुद्दा बना लिया है आपने और आप उसको अचीव करना चाहते हो, तो दैट टारगेट और एम और मुद्दा व्हाटएवर यू हैव, दैट्स अ क्रूसेड. बट क्रूसेड आल्सो मींस एक एम हो जाता है आपका. आई एम नॉट एबल टू गेट द एग्जैक्ट वर्ड राइट हियर. सो क्रूसेड व्हेन यू गो ऑन अ मिशन, टेक्निकली ऐसे लिख सकते हो, ठीक है. तो उनका जो एंटी करप्शन मिशन है, क्रूसेड प्रॉमिस्ड टू बिल्ड अ नया पाकिस्तान, बट व्हाइल इन पावर ही मेड 3 क्रिटिकल मिस्टेक्स. क्रिटिकल मतलब इंपॉर्टेंट, मतलब थिंग्स दैट हैव अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट आउटकम. तो क्रिटिकल ऐसी चीजें जिनको हम इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते. क्रिटिकल, मिसमैनेजमेंट एंड फुल स्पेक्ट्रम हॉस्टिलिटी. हॉस्टिलिटी मतलब एक नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप रखना किसी से, जहां पर आप उनको डिसलाइक करते हो, अनफेवर करते हो, वो आपको परेशान करते हैं, आप उन्हें परेशान करते हो. तो हैज हॉस्टाइल मतलब अनफेवरेबल एनवायरनमेंट. तो उन्होंने ऑपोजिशन के साथ हमेशा हॉस्टाइल रिलेशंस रखे हैं. ही वाज वेरी हॉस्टाइल, नॉट फ्रेंडली, ठीक है. फ्रेंडली का ऑपोजिट होगा हॉस्टाइल. एंड फुल स्पेक्ट्रम मतलब एकदम फुल ऑन. ऐसे होता है ना थोड़ी बहुत हॉस्टिलिटी या सीक्रेट हॉस्टिलिटी की सामने बहुत अच्छा दिख रहे हैं और फिर पीठ पीछे वार कर रहे हैं. पर फुल स्पेक्ट्रम हॉस्टिलिटी मतलब कि हमेशा ही बहुत बुरा बिहेव करना या हमेशा ही अनफ्रेंडली बिहेव करना. तो फुल स्पेक्ट्रम मीन्स फुल ऑन. His vindictive approach, vindictive मतलब बदला लेने की आदत. His vindictive approach towards the opposition brought together all the major opposition parties, tried to cash in on public resentment. जब किसी को आप resent करते हो तो आप उनसे disappoint होते हो और आप उन्हें dislike करते हो. तो resentment, disappoint plus dislike का mixture है. Amid means in the middle of. Economic woes means economic worries or economic crisis. Cracks in government's relationship with the military began appearing last year. Sparred again means getting into a fight, okay. So see, these are all the new words that we are learning from the editorial. इन्वेजन यू नो ऑलरेडी, जैसे रशिया ने यूक्रेन को इन्वेड करने की कोशिश करी है, इन्वेजन किया है, तो किसी दूसरे को पे कब्जा करने की कोशिश करना, दैट इज इन्वेजन। कन्फ्लिक्ट आपको पता है, कन्फ्लिक्ट का मतलब हमेशा वॉर नहीं होता, लेकिन वॉर से थोड़ा छोटा वर्ड होता है कन्फ्लिक्ट इंटेंसिटी में, पर कन्फ्लिक्ट मतलब जहां पर भी लड़ाई चल रही है उसको हम कन्फ्लिक्ट बोल देंगे डेफिनेटली। री एम्फसाइज, एम्फसाइज मतलब फोकस करना, स्ट्रेस करना, एंड री एम्फसाइज मतलब दोबारा से फोकस करना। रिब्यूक मतलब किसी चीज को साइड हटा देना, या मतलब जैसे जनरल बाजवा ने जब इमरान खान के स्टेटमेंट को रिब्यूक करा, तो मतलब उनके स्टेटमेंट को ये बोला कि उनका स्टेटमेंट मैटर ही नहीं करता, या उसको हम बोल सकते हैं थोड़ा सा डिसरिस्पेक्ट टाइप का कर देना, मतलब डिसअप्रूवल देना या क्रिटिसाइज करना, डिसअप्रूव करना या क्रिटिसाइज करना। एंड देन यू हैव वर्सनिंग इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस, ये सब आपको पता है। एंड या सबवर्टिंग मतलब किसी चीज का रास्ता बदलना, दैट मीन्स डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसीडिंग्स हैं और इमरान खान उनको अपने हिसाब से मोड़ रहे हैं, तोड़ मरोड़ कर रहे हैं, दैट इज सबवर्टिंग। सो इन टोटल 1 2 3 4 5 6 11 12 सो इन टोटल अप्रोक्सीमेटली 32 नए वर्ड्स हैं वोकैबुलरी की, या 32 ऐसे वर्ड्स हैं जहाँ पर लोगों को प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, जिनके मीनिंग लोगों को नॉर्मली आते नहीं हैं। तो 32 के आसपास ऐसे वर्ड्स हैं जिनमें से कम 6-7 तो होंगे डेफिनेटली जो आपके लिए भी नए होंगे। जरूरी नहीं होता कि हर किसी को ये पूरे 32 वर्ड्स नए लगे, लेकिन आउट ऑफ दीज 32 गुड डिफिकल्ट वर्ड्स there must be at least 7 to 8 words that even you must not have known, and through the editorial you were able to learn these words and understand the meanings of these words. So like I said, and this is how editorial helps with vocabulary. Okay, so this is going to be the end. Just a second guys, this is going to be the end of the session. I'll just quickly go through the comment section. pragmatic means practical. प्रैग्मेटिक का मतलब होता है प्रैक्टिकल, जैसे किसी भी चीज का हम एक बहुत ही इमोशनल सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं, दूसरा जब हम प्रैग्मेटिक सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं तो हम एकदम प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ रहे हैं, न्यूट्रल होके एंड प्रैग्मेटिक तरीके से। चलिए, दैट इज इट गाइस।